a research subsidy in Kenya?
It was researching soil subsidy. Did you say soil?
Yeah, so basically we had someone come and basically give us this project where we were researching how much a soil subsidy to this rural area in southern Kenya would cost, as well as implementing a variety of like teaching methods of how to use soil and various agricultural tools. And so basically we worked to see what would be the most efficient and effective way to use the allotted sum of money that they gave us. It was like $5 million or something, and how best to go about instituting this subsidy and educational program for this agricultural area. And that was like the main project that we had worked on. And that was, again, something that sparked further interest in the field.
Was it through your school? Like, did you get to go to? Oh, wow.
So this was while I was studying abroad, which we were talking about earlier in Denmark. And it was like part of our program is we had like a lot of like guest lecturers come in, and so like this was like one of the main projects that like my group was on. Every group had kind of something different, but I found it really nice.
You were in Kenya, or you were in Denmark?
Denmark, and we were doing like a project for like the Danish government in assessing how much it would cost. And yeah, we were talking earlier about like what drew my interest into international development, and that was one of the experiences that I found it to be like very intriguing and spark further want or yearning for academic and kind of stuff like that.
Did you get to interact with people on the ground in Kenya at all? Or most of what you did was just it was behind the desk?
Whoop, one more time, sorry.
Did you get to interact with people in Kenya at all? Or most of what you did was behind the desk?
So most of ours was back-end research. We were tempted to deal with like some suppliers, but it wasn't like a lot of like front-end research with like people in the area. We talked a little bit. There was like a university that we like talked to when we said just call them up so we could get like a real value, but nothing that was like actually implemented. For us, I don't even know whether they really implemented what we advised or consulted. It was more like I think we were doing a project for them and kind of like some background research and work.
Sounds like a lot of fun. So Priyanka, we're back on.
All right, we're back on.
Action items.
All right, so we're talking about grants. We're talking about the function on Trello where if you have a suggestion or if you find a grant of interest to someone else, such as like operating, then there'd be a board under the Trello that you can actually add that suggestion to. The other thing that we talked about was having all the new people, meaning mainly the people who are in the office like Matt and Rachel and Ariane, working kind of in sync with the people who don't necessarily go to the office every day, so people like myself and Victor and Christina, and working to establish better communication between those in the office and those not in the office. So Sam was going to work to bring the people not in the office in contact with people in the office, and you've done a good job with that by having Matt join us today and inviting Ariane to join us as well. So just kind of strengthening that so that we kind of know where everybody is in terms of who's sending out what, making sure everyone's on the same page in terms of the duties that we're doing. The other thing that another action item was to get in contact with the people who are doing the Christmas wishes piece. I know, Matt, you have copied me on some of those emails, which is great. And I know Ariane has forwarded me what she sent over to the Zimmer Foundation, so that's been going well. Victor, you were going to talk to the accounting department, and Jessica about an IRS 990, which is something that's been requested by some of the groups that we've been applying to. And by we, I mean Sam has encountered that. I've encountered that. So I know you were going to talk to the accounting department or Jessica. Did you get a chance to do that?
I spoke with Jessica. Jessica says we have it. Bawu knows where it is. I spoke with her and we had an exchange. Sam was involved in that exchange. Jessica's preference, because it's very sensitive information, the IRS 990 is essentially a tax filing from one year to the next. So we have a 990 for as long as the organization has existed, and the most recent one will be the 2013 tax filing. It's sensitive information, so what Jessica would prefer, and I agree with her, is if any organization specifically requests the 990, that request will be passed on to me, and I'll just send the 990 directly to that organization. But it will have to go from me, unless the logistics don't allow that. So we'll just deal with the 990 issue on a case-by-case basis. But we do have the 990. That's the good news. Okay.
The next thing is for Aware, Lee was going to work on 4 grant proposals and then update all her information on Trello, and then work with Sam just to make sure everyone was up to speed on that. Did she get a chance to connect with you, Sam, this week?
No.
Okay. The next thing was for Victor to ask about someone putting all reports together as an annual report for us to use when mailing letters. I wanted to know if you had a chance to do that.
I haven't had a chance to do that. I'm guilty. I haven't had a chance to do that. I was gonna check in with Master, so if you can just let him know that I need to talk to him at some point.
Okay.
Because all the reports, we already have all the reports. I just have to create language, like some kind of cover, some kind of introduction to the annual report. And then put all the different reports that we already have into one single document. So it's more of a technical problem than anything else. So I'll talk to him and I'll talk to Jennifer and see what we can do.
All right. All right. The next thing was so Lee Barrett was going to let me know about his daughter's grant that she recently received from the nonprofit she worked with. I guess Lee didn't have a chance to let me know, so I'll probably have to follow up with him directly and ask him. And then the other one was that Sam was going to add the operating expenses budget into the school supplies grant proposals, and that a marginal percentage of the school supplies budget would go to operational. I think last meeting we discussed that was kind of already the case.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Sam?
All right. So those were all the action items from last meeting's minutes. So I guess can I ask for a motion to adopt the minutes?
I move a motion to adopt the minutes.
All right, and it's adopted. Okay, so the next thing is grant writing updates. The first thing is school supplies.
So I'll let Sam do the honors. Where are we, Sam, in school supplies?
Is that directed to me? I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Yes, okay. Okay, updates for that are that today Shaw, the people working with the accounting department, sent out 2 mail letters to Anadarko, which is a petroleum company based in Texas, and they did highlight Ivory Coast in their areas of interest, so that's a big plus, and they seem to fit a lot with what we had to offer. And the other one was to a Swiss, I forgot what it was actually. It was some organization. It was called ATDTA, and they also had really good matches with what we wanted. So those two were sent by mail, and I have really high expectations from those. So I'm really hoping that I'll get a positive response from them. Other than that, I've just been doing the same old, which is sending out grants through email and following up. I followed up everything up to date, either by phone call or by email. And most of them were done by email because there's a restriction with calling international numbers, or some of them simply don't reply. So, yes. So, yeah, that's what I have to know.
Well, the two organizations that we sent mail to, do we have the information on Trello?
They're all on Trello, yeah. Including those two.
Are they did you put them in for May or for June?
For June.
I think it's for
So I see
Well,
potential donors June, and that's where they are.
Yes.
yes,
One is called Anadarko Petroleum Corporate Contributions Program.
Yeah.
And the other one is ATDTA.
Who applied to the MasterCard Foundation?
MasterCorp, I did today.
Okay. I remember applying for an operating grant in the past, and it had a specific person's name. They never responded back to my inquiry, but maybe you'll have better luck with them because you're asking about a specific program. What I can do is I can maybe put in the suggestions their name.
That'll be great.
Well,
Yeah.
you can just put it in on that call.
Oh, can I actually add? Oh, I guess I can. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll add it then.
Yeah. And just indicate.
That's an action item.
I'm gonna put it in there. You can either do it as an attachment or just copy the piece.
Yeah, I'll put the contact names that I have there, so that maybe if you call, you can like ask directly and see if she's responsive to you.
That'll be great.
What's the story with ATDTA?
ATDTA, they were very flexible in terms of their requirements of documents that they wanted to receive. So I sent a inquiry letter plus the different the reports that were put into booklets, which were the school supplies, your Christmas wishes, and a few extra. One was introducing Ivory Coast. The other one was introducing UAA in general.
So they wanted the materials by mail. They requested the materials by mail.
Yeah, and they were sent out today.
And they were sent out to Switzerland.
One is to Switzerland in Zurich. The other one is to in Houston, Texas.
And I take it you haven't been able to speak with them or phone to waiting for their information.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
You haven't made contact with anybody at ATDTA by phone.
By phone? No.
No, because that's an international call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got the information about sending the materials by mail on their website?
Yeah, they even they asked for any inquiries to be sent by mail and not by email.
I see.
Same goes for the Anadarko.
So communication with both organizations has been one way so far. We haven't received any response from either of them yet. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
We haven't received any feedback from either organizations yet. Is that correct?
No. Well, they were sent out today. Those two specific, yeah.
Sometimes
from the rest, no, I have not gotten any feedback. And if I have, it's negative. And if I did, I shifted it on Trello to the rejected section.
have you been able to contact anybody by phone?
Recently, they've all failed. Today, I contacted a diesel company called Humans. I talked to a guy who seemed ignorant about the grant giving program that they have. So I just said thank you, and I would follow up with them next time I go into the office. I wasn't really that prepared with what I had to say, so I'll prepare myself more so that I can actually lead myself onto who's in charge of grant giving.
Yeah, that's something we need to start working on as a team.
Yeah.
Because when we do the follow-ups, we have to be really, really prepared. Because unless you're able to engage the person you're talking to in a matter of seconds and grab their attention, and be able to get them into a conversation. These people speak to thousands of people over the course of a year. Their inclination is to try to get them on the phone as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I think one of the things you probably should do is maybe on these calls in future, or maybe creating a separate forum. These calls might actually be a good way to do it. Is to create some scripts, practice some of those scripts, and begin to get better and better at following up with all of those concepts that we create.
Yep.
So if we're making the calls, then we have to start working on making the calls better and more effective.
Sure.
So this was a diesel company.
Yes, it's called Cumins. I have it somewhere here. It's on Trello as well. There's
Yeah.
also in the June section.
You can just make sure you update that in the comment section that you did speak with somebody and then you will follow that up.
Okay.
Awesome, good work. And so you're in the office again on Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes.
Now, I would imagine you've probably started to run out of prospects on Grand Station.
Well, I still have a few, like, I would say a good 30 more to go.
With this pretty much good.
Grand Station. That's from the what I was searching now. I forgot what keyword I put in, but yeah. After that, all I'm doing is just searching for different keywords, and the Grad Station itself gives you ideas because some specific programs do include different keywords or like tags to what their program is about. So I can get ideas from that, and I can just widen my range on what I can capture on Grad Station.
So you think there's still a lot more room to get?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
For now, yeah.
If you start running into a dead end on Grand Station, I got some materials from Foundation Center.
Foundation Center?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard of that before.
Well, Foundation Center it's the biggest like database for grant makers.
Mm-hmm.
And on Trello, if you look on the extreme right side of the school supplies board, there, there's a there's a list in there. There's a board in there called raw donor lists.
Yeah, donor lists.
On the extreme right next to LOI. Just before on hold LOI proposal templates, there's a list there called raw donor lists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
If you open that up, there's 5 lists over there. There's probably about 250 or so organizations in there, grant makers.
Mm-hmm.
I've walked through the first 2. So about some point you start running into any roadblocks and grant stations. There's a lot of potential conflict with that. 3, 4 times already. But I think what we really need to start focusing on now is the follow-up, and then we'll start discussing and exchanging ideas on how best to follow up with anything.
Yeah. And just a different suggestion with the script that you mentioned. one that's very brief and direct and captures the attention. Maybe we can also include like different bullet points that are talking about UA or what they might want to know more about us. So whatever we might think they might have a question or whatever, we can just add it to a bullet point. We don't have to read it unless they ask. So it's just there as a reference. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to start working on creating a script? Following a script?
I'm sorry.
Do you have a follow-up script that you're using currently?
Well, I did. The
It's
one
in
that
the
I have isn't really that well developed yet because I just use it for this one phone call. But I definitely want to add up to it.
Yeah, can you create one and we can exchange notes?
Yeah, sure.
Create one, we'll exchange notes, and then we'll see where we are by next week's meeting.
Sure, definitely.
If we can make that an action item for you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, we can make that an action item.
All right, what's the action item again? I missed that.
Sam is going to create a script
Okay.
for following up on LOIs and proposals that we sent. But we're trying to create a way to follow up in a way that is very efficient and very effective and very brief. It's going to create a script, and we're both going to work on that script, and we should have something good ready by the next meeting. What I want to start doing, starting from the next meeting, is start practicing our follow-up, because that's going to be the big thing going forward now. You know, effective follow-up, trying to figure out ways to find people that we can talk to.
You can pay. All right.
On my end, I followed up on a few of the items that I sent out back in May. I haven't started following up on the June ones, but I followed up on the ones in May. I think I did mention last week that Africa Education Trust that we're not eligible according to their criteria. Africa Foundation USA. Let's see. So, yeah, they actually don't do that. Uh, they do work on the ground themselves. So they're doing the same kind of thing that we are doing. And so what I'm going to do is follow up with them and see if we can establish some kind of partnership with them. So I'm going to move that. And then I create another bullet point of potential. America Gives Back. America Gives Back has this interesting program called Global Partnership for Education. And involved in I know they have a program that deals with school supplies, similar to ours. But most of what they do with the Global Partnership for Education is like what's it called? It's the with pressure on policymakers to uh, to promote policy that's geared towards universal primary education. So they have a petition, for example. I think there's a conference coming up in about 8 days, uh, which is an international conference that is focused on countries that are working on the Millennium Development Goal of universal primary education. So they're generating signatures for a petition they have to get as many governments as possible to get it. So I signed the petition. I have my name in the database, and I'm going to look for ways to try to engage with them going forward. American Jewish World Service, found the name of the what is called the Vice President for International Programs. On their website, they have, I believe, somebody who is the secretary to the Vice President for International Programs. So I left her two voicemails, and I'm going to follow up with that. Uh, I know on their website they indicate they don't accept uh, uninvited proposals or letters of inquiry. I don't know if anybody has run into that, into organizations that tell you that they don't accept uninvited letters of inquiry or proposals. Has anybody run into that?
I actually haven't yet.
You haven't run into anything like that? Have you run into something like that? There are
Pardon?
organizations that will tell you that they don't accept uninvited letters of inquiry and proposals,
They tell you that they accept it?
that they do not accept uninvited letters of inquiry or uninvited proposals.
Oh, I see.
Have you ever seen that?
I have seen that actually.
You have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually for those, I contact them and I see what is the process for us to get invited. Because usually there's at least something that you can give them that will allow them to invite you, like whether it's an application form or something like that. There's usually something that allows them to invite you.
Have you been successful with some?
I'm trying to think if I think one of them was requiring a lot from us, so I decided not to pursue that in the effort of saving time. But I did list it down, so I don't think I've actually followed up with any that have required that yet.
Right. And when you reach out to these organizations, do you have specific titles, specific people that you're trying to reach out to, that you're looking for, like contact persons? What kind of titles do you typically try to contact?
What I've tried to do is usually find the person who's handling grants, or fund, or like whatever, grant, basically a grant manager or someone in charge of expenses or external funding or external relations or something like that, to see if they would be the correct person. Like I try to find them first so that I can target that person when I'm making calls or anything like that.
Yeah, at the American Jewish World Service, I found this person who is the vice president of international programs, and she's responsible for essentially determining what kind of programs they're going to fund internationally. So that's somebody I'm trying to reach out to and make sure it's really that. So I have a note to myself for after really reach out to that person. And Batunda Foundation, this is a foundation that was set up by Mr. Kuba, who is a senior songwriter in the English, particularly close to language. And they don't give grants because I think we can find some synergy between us on the AWARE program. Because a lot of the programs they execute are geared towards women. So, Matthew, I'm going to pass that information along to you and the Batunda Foundation. I will detail this a little bit more, but the mechanism we have is if I'm doing research and I find something that's going to be useful for our work, on the Trello board for our work, there's a section where I can move the information I have so that we can follow up on that. And so that's what we're going to do with Batunda Foundation. And we can talk a little bit more about it. So that's the update I have on Speak Supply. So I'm working on recontacting people. We're already way past our goal of 10 for June, but we're going to keep looking at it as soon as I can. So that's all for Speak Supply.
All right. The next thing is Christmas wishes. So I'll just give updates. Again, by Christina. Christina really can't make the Friday night meetings; those are hard for her. But what I thought would be better, instead of having her try to like do that and us reschedule, was that based on our meetings that we have, and I have a meeting with the Christmas Wishes team on Tuesday. I would just give you the updates that she has from those meetings. And since we also have 2 other people working on Christmas Wishes, then they could provide also additional updates. So I'll just briefly give hers. So Christina reached out and has been following up with her 10 organizations who she believed would be good for sponsorships for the event, and also organizations that are really big on donating toys, so that if we wanted to go that route, they might be able to actually donate the toys for the program, which is equatable to the cost. So she believes she's going to be successful so far, based on like her follow-up. She believes she's going to be successful with the grocery store. She has a meeting with them, and she believes she's going to be successful with the one grocery store she reached out to in terms of getting a gift card, and that will be used for getting items for the gala. And then she also believes she'll be successful with the local Walmart, again, and getting a certain amount in terms of a gift card, either 25 or 50. And that amount will be helpful in terms of getting events, or getting items in terms of the event in December, or if we wanted to use that for toys, then we could use it there too. So once she gets those items, I guess we'll discuss further on what we can use those for. The other thing is that this week, her action item is going to be to find an additional 10 sponsors or grant funders, foundations, that she can reach out to, and she's going to provide updates over the next week or 2 on her progress there. And she's also going to update everything in Trello in terms of her progress. So that's kind of her action item for the week. Just in terms of what I've been able to observe, and Matt can elaborate more on his piece, but I know Arian has been working to send out Christmas Wishes sponsor and program proposals, and I know Matt has also worked in the past and over this past week to send out the Christmas Wishes sponsor and program proposals. So with that, I'll kind of defer to Matt to give additional updates.
Sure. So I've kind of moved on from this a little bit at the end of the week, but earlier this week as well as last week, it was kind of following up with organizations that I had initially picked out, like my first 1 or 2 days with UAA. So in that sense, not all of them I think are going to be fantastic fits, because more I was getting kind of what are we looking for. But I actually found a couple that I think might be good. Even today, when I was going through stuff for Aware, I found 2 that are specifically sport focused that I passed on to Ariane, which I think actually would be really good fits. As far as what our chances are of securing funding, not totally sure. But at least the progress I've made so far has been with following up. I think I need to do the same thing as Sam and just call, really kind of get more like aggressive with the people so I get more responses, because what I've gotten so far has been either nothing or negative. But that's where I've been, and again, more moving into Aware lately, but just trying to follow up with the few that I had contacted previously.
You just said you passed some people on to Orion.
So Arian's also doing Christmas Wishes, and she works in the office. So I guess Matt and Arian work together.
We really hadn't. I actually wasn't, even like my first day, like I wasn't sure that she was doing Christmas Wishes, but once I figured that out, I've been trying to work with her basically and like divvying up like how we're gonna follow up with the list that we have, as well as kind of if I've seen something, kind of shared that with her.
So are you still doing some Christmas wishes now, or you're taking your hands off Christmas wishes completely?
So when I talked to Jessica, she said for me to own the people that I had already contacted and to try to keep following up with them. But other than that, to kind of branch more into Aware. So to keep correspondence with the people that I already had, but not like go really too much further. At least that's the role that I had gotten from Jessica, or the advice that I'd gotten from her.
And I think that's a good idea. Do you have a list of those people somewhere? The list of the people you contacted?
I know they're all in the sent folder for the grants and policy. I don't think Matt's on the Trello board.
Yeah, that's one. On the sample,
Would it be, like, Matt, how do you feel about me adding you to the Trello board and then you kind of putting, like, your progress and updating the organizations that you own on there? Would that be doable?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. That's not a problem. I think I need to, like, run through, like, how to go through Trello. I know Sam had already, like, briefly walked me through it. I need to, like, go and figure out and get up to date with, like, your protocol on there. But that's definitely something that I can take care of.
Trust me, once you get on Trello, you're going to wish you got on it a lot earlier. It's going to make your life easier. So right now you have the list of you own. You have it on the shared drive.
I have a list with contact information of the places that I've contacted and follow up with on the shared drive.
But how many of them?
I think at least the ones that I followed back up with, like around 20.
That you've already followed up with?
I followed up with a little under that.
Okay. But a total, at least of about 20 that you contacted with already. Some of them you follow up with already. Yeah, we need to. I'm looking at a trailer board, and I see a board for Christmas wishes before.
Yeah, if Matt, if you could just send me that list that you have, that you uploaded to the share drive, then I could just go ahead and upload it to Trello, just so that everyone else who's part of that would know what you've done, and it's there.
Yeah, I see a board for Christmas wishes there. Is that the only board we have for Christmas wishes, or is it Christmas wishes?
No, we have a Christmas wishes event board and a Christmas wishes grant tracker board. I don't think, but the thing is, you're not a member of that, so that's probably why it doesn't show up for you. I can change that, though.
Yeah, I need to be a member.
Let me add you.
Yeah. So the grant tracker board, that's where, so for example, all of the organizations that Christina is contacting for sponsorships, is going to put them on the grant tracker board. Christmas wishes grant tracker board.
Alright. Yeah, they're all there. So I just added you. I think I added the right you, because I know there's two that you had in the past. So if I haven't added you, I'll add the right one, but just let me know. Yeah, so Ariane has actually been using it. Let me see where she's added hers. Yeah, she added hers to potential sponsors. So yeah, she's actually been using it quite a lot to add her like foundation lists.
Okay, I added the Christmas wishes.
Yeah.
Well, Bianca, if you know where Matt has that list from their drive.
Oh yeah, if I can find it, then I'll go ahead and find it.
Alright. Looks like you guys are working and rolling. Do you have any updates? I guess, do you have any updates for us from the meeting, other than what you did for us? Christina has done from the meeting with other members of the Christmas wishes against team continue.
This is for Matt.
No, that's for you, Priyanka.
Oh, do I have any more updates?
Yeah, do you have any more updates for us?
No. But I will tell you that, well, actually, hold on. I will tell you this. I know the budget changed a little bit. It got, for at least the gala, it increased. So I'm actually going to be talking with Vanessa this weekend to see, like, if she remembers exactly what cost what, or if she remembers, like, the ballpark costs and what each, like, a breakdown of what each line item is. So I know I've seen, like, an event, events, and I've seen a marketing, and I've seen an entertainment. And so just I'm going to have her give me the rundown on, like, what each of those things were. Because as our goal kind of, and this is what we talked about within the Christmas Wishes team on Tuesday, but our goal is to be able to get as much of those items sponsored or donated as possible, so that we wouldn't necessarily need to raise the full amount of, the 6,000 plus that it costs. We would get those items donated for free, thus reducing the amount that, well, actually, thus accomplishing what we want to accomplish. Because what we've noticed, and what Christina noticed when she was contacting a lot of the corporate offices, and she was able to get a hold of them and talk to them, have meaningful conversations with a lot of those people, they told her instead of monetary donations, they were more open to donating actual items, in-kind donations, giving toys, etc. So I wanted to have that conversation with Vanessa to see, okay, well, what items did we need at last year's event, so we can know what to specifically ask when we go and talk to these corporations and these companies.
I'll tell you one thing we're going to need Christina to and hopefully one of these days, maybe we can get her on one of these meetings. I know we probably can get her on every week, but if she's had very good success contacting people like these corporations, we need to find out from her what she's doing, because that's the key to success, actually being able to get through, reach somebody, talk to somebody, and get some information. So if she has some kind of a that is working for her, it's something, if you can let her know, would love her to share with the rest of the team, so that we can apply the same thing to what we're doing. And are you guys, are you thinking of, I know we talked to Ariane, but it wouldn't be a bad idea if you can reach out to Ariane and see if she'll join you guys in the Tuesday meeting.
Oh, and see if she can join us when we meet up?
Yeah, on Tuesday.
Yeah. All right, I will.
So she'll start with your team.
All right, that's it for Christmas wishes.
Well, what's next on your agenda?
Next on the agenda is Aware. So that's Lee, and that's also Matt, because I know Matt has been starting to take over that portfolio, so maybe he can give us the update there.
Yeah, I can give you an update. I also had just one question before I go into that. I know earlier we talked about kind of being able to communicate well. I was wondering if there was on file a list of everybody's contact information, like emails, as far as who's working on what projects. I don't know if that exists, but that was just a question that I have.
I just said that at the beginning of this call, that we need one of those.
Sure. But I don't know if it is working well. But in terms of the grant writing on the fundraising team, we can create one. And Priyanka, I believe you have practically everybody's email.
I have practically everyone's email and phone number.
Yeah, so if do you mind just creating a list? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be awesome. So your wish has been granted, Matt.
Awesome. All right, cool. So for Aware, there's an update on that. I've been working on that for the past week, along with Rachel. Also started with me on the past week of that, and so we've been looking up for potential fundraising opportunities again, and we've compiled a semi-list for which I've gone through and then tried to create the letters of interest for the past couple days. There was a little confusion, I think, with me communicating to her with what we're looking for, but when we get down to it, I think that we have a potential around 30 organizations, which we need to. I sent out preliminaries for a couple of them today, but we need to do that and then follow back up with them. And most of them are for the general funding. I know I talked with Jessica about potentially getting potential sponsors for specific aspects of the program. So there's a media portion. Is there somebody who would focus on that? And somebody who would be able to focus on the all women's soccer games. We haven't kind of deep dived into that yet, but more look for general holistic organizations that have a commitment to either social justice, women's rights, gender equality, and kind of any organization that provides funding or grants for that realm. So yeah, and where we are, we're in the stage of where now that we're kind of making initial contact, we need to be sure to follow up and really connect with these organizations.
So you said you have a list of 30 organizations that you're currently looking at. Where did you get that list from?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
You mentioned that you have a list of over 30 organizations that you're currently looking at. Where did you get that list from?
So most of this has been through kind of Google searching through where we can and researching organizations that we found through our searches. A lot of what I tried to do when I was looking for them is to go to organizations that are already receiving funding. So similar organizations that are focused on women's rights, I'd go look who are their funding partners. I would try to find organizations that would then be giving out grants or fundraising opportunities to similar organizations with a similar goal to us. So basically, like, Google has been Rachel and I's best friend in trying to find these organizations.
So you and Rachel are finding potential donors. You work really collaborating on that.
Pardon?
You and Rachel have worked together.
It failed. You need to send it to Joseph.
I did.
Yeah, so Rachel and I last Friday were kind of working. We would go apart and then we kind of came together to find organizations. 1 second. To find organizations. She was sick today, so I started creating the letters of interest for the ones that we had found. But Rachel and I have been trying to kind of tag team this.
Have you tried using
All right.
Have you tried using Grant Station, Matt?
I haven't. So I went on today briefly at the end of the day, but I haven't looked on Grand Station first.
Do you have the?
We need that representation.
Get on Grand Station?
Yeah, I think
I personally haven't had access to Grant Station.
Oh, we have a. Sorry. I'm on. Let me put you on mute. Okay. All right. We have a login information for Grant Station. So should I make that available in that list that I compile of everyone's like contact information so that you know how to like access it? Like have a not only just have like our contact information, but also like a login information for all like the Foundation Center, Foundation Center, not login, but for the Grant Station at least. I'll add that.
That would be incredibly beneficial. At least I know on my part.
I think we have the information.
What did you say?
Sam has the information for Grant Station. Sam?
Yeah. I'm gonna add it to the list that I make just so it's just there and everyone can just look at that for stuff.
Matt, I have a suggestion for you and Rachel. If you can handle it. Once you get this list from Priyanka, and this should be an action item before next meeting on Friday. I'm trying to avoid you guys reinventing the wheel because Lee, after a while, she's done a lot of work on the AWARE program already. And it's going to save you guys a lot of headache if you can just take what she's done already and just run with it. So, for example, I know she's written some really good letters of people. So, if you don't want to go through the hassle of having to rewrite yours, you can get hers, take a look at it. If you think it works for you, you guys can use it. If you want to use it as a set template and adjust it, you can do that. Or if you just want to rewrite your own draft, it's also up to you. But if I was in your shoes, if there's one in place already, that I think is good enough, I'll just use it. That saves you a lot of time. Have you seen the full aware proposal that you created?
Yeah, I have a copy of that.
Okay. Have you read through that?
Sorry?
Have you read?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really, really good document. It's an awesome document. It's top rate. So that saves you a lot of hassle. You don't have to deal with your writing proposals. So once you get the list from Priyanka, what I would suggest is you and Rachel introduce yourself to me right away. I know she was out of town. She was in Atlanta for a conference this week. She's back in town this evening, so she's going to be in town. Uh, and I know she'll be excited. And she's been looking for help for a long time. She'll be excited to get to speak with you guys. So you can introduce yourself to her. That's my second option. Three, get on that Trello board as quickly as possible. She already has an aware board on Trello. If she can invite you and Rachel, so once you speak with her,
Anyone can invite.
so you can invite them
Yeah, I can invite them.
to the aware board. Yeah, if you can invite both of them to the aware board.
They have to create a Trello account first, though.
Yeah, so will you just walk over? Well, I guess between you and Sam, get them on Trello. No, I think you already have a Trello account, right? Yeah, Matt already has a Trello account.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Matt, what's your name?
I think it's just Matt. I know my email that I use for
Found you.
Matt.
Found you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, Sam, you don't know if Rachel has one yet? Sam, do you know? You don't know. It doesn't or you don't know?
I am like 99% sure she does not have one.
Okay. So once you get, Priyanka is about to launch it to Trello. Sam can walk it up. I think he's probably giving you some tutorial. But then on that board, one of the things Sam and I are doing is all of the documents we're using is all on Trello. The proposals and LOIs, everything, the attachments, it's all there. It makes it very easy to collaborate. The sooner you guys start working as a team, the better for everybody. So those are the three action items. Get in touch with me, start putting your stuff on Trello, and if there's any documents like letter of inquiry that she has, try to get it as quickly as possible and start using it. What days are you in the office now?
I'm in the office on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Tuesday, Friday. And that list of 30 that you guys already have, you want to get that on Trello as quickly as possible. Because one of the things we're trying to avoid is overlap, because we want to make sure Lee isn't already talking to some of those organizations. So you want to what you have, and just cross check, make sure you guys are good, and then move forward from there.
Okay, great.
That's what I have.
All right.
It's all up to you. Yeah.
Oh, pardon. Right now I'm adding pretty much everyone who has a Trello account to all of these like grant tracker boards. So yeah, so that everyone can have access. So there, for Aware, there's actually two boards, Matt. So once you go on there, you'll see it. But there's two boards. There's an Aware Grant Tracker 2014 and Aware Grant Tracker 2015. So for example, if you're applying for next year's as well, then you can put it there. if there's organizations that you're able to apply for a next year grant as well. But you've been added to Aware, you've been added to, and so is Ariane, but you've been added to that, you've been added to Christmas Wishes, to operating, and to school supplies. Now again, this is just for your knowledge. So for example, you've done Christmas Wishes before, so you're able to add something there. But for school supplies, which you might not have done, or for operating, which you might not have done, that's just for your information so you can see what I'm doing. And if you ever find a grant that says they're strictly for operating, then you'd be able to drop it there. So, yep. Okay, so moving along, operating expenses. All right. So for operating, this week I was pretty busy in terms of sending out applications. And so what I did, I actually heard back from one organization, the MacArthur Foundation, and they told me that unfortunately they would not fund the operating portion. They did, however, send me an email, which I did forward to the Grants and Policy Department email, which I know Sam, Matt, and Rachel, and Ariane have been using. So I forwarded it to that so that they'd be able to see the response. But it has basically a website that they provided that gives more information on what grants they do provide. So they just said no to me, but maybe this is an opportunity for one of our other programs. So that was MacArthur. Then the DRK Foundation, I still need the resumes of all the people on our letterhead. So I know I asked Sam for that. So Sam, if you get in the office this next week, if you could just send me, or even Matt, if you're in the office more often, if you could just send me the resumes for all the people that are on our letterhead that work in the actual, the USA team, and not board members, just us, the UAA people. Just send me those people's resumes because I need it for a grant application where I have to attach like all the key players' resumes to the application. The application is like an entrepreneurial society, and they like being able to award grants to like startup nonprofits. So that's why I need that.
And since it's operational, should I include Matt, the accounts as well? I'm assuming everyone who goes to the office, right?
Wait. Can you repeat that?
You mentioned that you wanted the resumes of us working in the office. So I would assume that would include the accounts as well. Sure, Jenny and Shaw, right?
So whoever is on our letterhead, their resume. So mainly, like, I would focus on like big people like Victor and Jessica, and if we have the accounting people, then yes, them. The most important person's resume to get is Jessica. So if you can get hers, that would be the most important.
Okay.
I have a suggestion for you. Just either text Matt or Sam the list of resumes that you need.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we know exactly what you need. They can look for it. If they can't find it, then we can. I don't think my resume in the office, so I can send it to you.
Here, and I'll also put in the minutes.
And by resume, you mean like a page-long CV, right? Not just like contact info?
Yeah. So their actual CV, like what they've done, which would hopefully include UAA on it. Well, actually, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it should include UAA on it. So if it doesn't, then I guess that would be something to tell the person whose resume that is to include UAA. All right. All right. Moving along. So the other organizations, pardon?
Good question. I know you were going to have somebody from the office mail you the application that came in. Did you arrange that?
Yeah, so I also emailed and texted Sam about that. Were you able to mail off the application?
was directed to?
So it was an application that I received from the Winchcole Foundation, and Jessica was going to leave it in the office. I think Victor told me about this on Thursday, or maybe it was Friday, about an application that came for me.
I did not get any notification on that.
Oh, I emailed and texted, so I don't know if it just didn't go through.
No, I do not recall. I'll check my email now.
Well, I guess she can just tell you now. When you
Yeah.
can Tuesday,
Oh.
to the office on Tuesday, look out for that application, and you can just mail it to Priyanka. But Priyanka, you're going to have to give me your email address.
Yeah, either that or yeah. So if you'd be able to mail it, if you're able to mail it like the beginning of next week, that'd be ideal. That way I can receive it by like the middle to close to the end of the week. That would be ideal.
The next time he's going to be in the office is on Tuesday.
If not, then let me know, and then I'll make plans to like come get it.
Yeah, but the sooner you get that application, the better.
Yep. All right. Moving along. So I was able to send an application to the Elsie and Marvin Family Foundation. Now, when I contacted them, they provided their phone number. I was able to leave a message, but then I also looked on their site, and they said that they accept mailed applications or mailed letters. So what I did for my application, I guess you could say, is I printed out the school supplies report, I printed out the Christmas wishes report, and I printed out what I could find on Aware in the reports on the share drive. So there wasn't something very comprehensive on Aware, and I don't know if I just wasn't looking hard enough, but there was something about the soccer program, so I just printed that out. And I attached those along with our IRS or our tax ID form, and also the budget for the operating, and as well as the letter of inquiry. And I included all of those in my package to these organizations, and then and I mailed them off. So the first one was the Elsie and Marvin, the second one was the Eugene B. Casey, the third was the McCutcheon, and the fourth was the Charles Delmar. And all of these organizations, again, said that they accept mailed letters. They didn't provide an email, and some of them didn't provide a number. So I assume that they didn't want you to contact them directly like that, but they did accept mailed applications. Now, what I'll do is for the ones that did provide a number, or the ones that I was able to find a number for, I'll follow up this next week to make sure that they receive them, as I did send them out on Wednesday, so they should be receiving them by latest Monday. So I'll follow up to make sure that they did receive them, and that they'll take a look at those applications. And hopefully we'll receive some communication from them. I do anticipate that if it is a positive response, they'll send some correspondence to the Gaithersburg address, which is the one I used as the return address.
Yeah, on Sheila, I noticed you have a phone number for Elsie and Marvin Foundation.
I do.
But not for Eugene B. Casey and McCutcheon and Charles Delmar.
No, I don't. But I think there might have been one. If you look back in some of the other boards, there might be one for. Let me see if there's one for Eugene B. Casey. There might be one for some. Yeah. For Eugene B. Casey, there is one, and I'll just have to update that under there.
My suggestion is to use the due date function. I know you've been very diligent about following up, so I guess you probably have your own system, but I found the due date function to be a way to remind me when I need to contact them. So I'll just set up the due date a week out. Anytime I come to Trello is very good about reminding you if your due date is coming up or if it's past due, whatever the case might be. So if you know what to do, I just make the due date every Friday.
Yeah. So for both, I'll tell you now, so for both Charles Delmar and McCutcheon, there is no contact information. There's just the name of the person. So I addressed the letter to that person. But for Eugene B. Casey, I just added the number to Trello. And I'll have a due date of like Monday to follow up.
And then one thing you could, I'm sure you've probably done this before, if you can find a general number for the foundation, but I'm sure you probably already do that.
Yeah.
You don't need to-
Well, some of them, what I'll tell you about some of them is that some of them, like the McCutcheon and the Charles Delmar, are like family foundations. So I think these are people who are like really wealthy and we're able to like create a foundation that provides grants to organizations. So sometimes they don't necessarily have like an official establishment. It's more like in name only. So that might be why they don't have like the number. Yeah. But some of them do. So like for example, one of the ones I contacted was like it was like a ladies organization, some lady, like some elderly lady, and like her number was like on there. So when I called the first time, I got a voicemail and it was like, "Hi, this is so and so," and I was like, "That's interesting." Okay, so yeah, just for action items, I'll be following up with all the ones I submitted these packages to. I've kind of completed my goal for June, which was to send out, and some more than that, which was to send out like 5, and I actually submitted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's good. But what I'll have to work on now is just following up and also getting all the resume information I need for the DRK Foundation one.
Awesome.
All right, that's it. The next item is record keeping logistics on Trello.
I think we'll pretty much cover that.
Pardon?
I think we pretty much covered that.
Yeah. Yes.
Anything? Anybody has any questions, any comments, any suggestions? Anything you'd like us to discuss going forward to include on the agenda? And that's I'm throwing that paper for any problem. All right. No.
No questions. I've been pretty good at it. This meeting helped a lot with like clarifying how to move forward. So yeah, definitely pretty good.
Sam, any questions, suggestions, ideas?
No.
Brenda?
But I will say it's very nice to meet Matt and to know that we have like another person who's going to be working with us, and hopefully we can just continue to improve on our communications. I know, you know, sometimes it gets a little tricky with some of us not in the office and some of us who are just like right there and are able to communicate. But I think the more we can like continue to open up those lines of communication, whether it's through text or email, I think that'll be better.
I think I found your contact person for the Charles Delmar Foundation.
For which one?
Charles Delmar Foundation.
Oh, you found one.
I just found her on Facebook.
Oh.
Can
you? Does it have a number?
Except there's so many people that go by her name, so I just found somebody on white pages. Maybe that's it.
I see.
All right, great. I think we're good, right?
Yep.
Meeting is next Friday, same time, 7 p.m. I do have an announcement. Volunteer meeting, usually last Saturday of every month. We have it rescheduled to the fourth Saturday in July, which is the 7th. It's probably going to be at the Gaithersburg Library. Usually it's between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. On that day. But I'm going to send out information with all the details. So not next Saturday, for the Saturday after that, just so everybody knows. And it's going to be 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Yeah, just we're going to fill out these details.
Are we still having a grant writing meeting on June 27th?
Yeah, next Friday. Too.
But we won't have one on, well, no, that would be July 4th. So I assume we're not going to have one on July 4th.
You got a Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I'm confused. You said July 7th? July 7th is a Monday.
Yeah, I totally have my dates mixed up. So it's not going to be July 5th, so it's probably going to be July 12th.
You said it would be July 12th?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're still working on it. Don't quote me. But definitely not. It's likely going to be July 12th.
All right. All right.
That's it. We're good. Nice meeting you, Matt.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you all.
Thanks, everyone. I'm going to send the minutes afterwards.
Yeah, thanks for all the good work.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Right.